the other day, I was at a fiasco, and I was playing a song, and somebody just did this nice little thing, this little like whoop whoop or something like that, like at the right time during the song, and it lifted everything, and it like brought everybody in this really interesting way, and it was just such a little thing that they did. It was a little lift, but it lifted everything. And then at the same time, someone could just be like having a very innocent conversation and be completely destroying the vibe, and adding this huge level of distraction. So it's a pretty selfish inspiration of the kill and build thing, but it is fascinating to me how innocently both happen and how easy it is to destroy moments or to create moments. And so that's sort of like where the first thing, I mean, I started writing I think you'd be amazed at what you can kill, the night after we met Chris Robinson, and there was like that hater dude in the chat, and we banned our first person ever because we've been talking about banning people and if we'd ever do it and how we didn't ever want to do it, but then we did it. We banned this dude from the chat, and then he called, and then we talked to him for a long time, and we felt bad about banning him, and he felt a little bad about things he had said or whatever, and it was just an interesting moment. Yeah, it's a thin line. It's a little tiny line between that. Love and Larry. And then, of course, at Delfest with one ill-placed dick joke, apparently I killed opportunities for my career advancement. So you just never know. Every little step. You just never know. Well, you came in late, Love and Larry. Well, that's the rumor, anyways. It's sort of a long story, but not really that long of a story. What really happened was Chad, we got to hang out with Chris Robinson and Neil Castle. Is that how it works? Casal? I'm not sure how to say his last name. But, see what happened, we were at Delfest, and the weird thing that happened first was that both Delfest and High Sierra put on their Facebooks and maybe their websites that to check out hippiefiasco.com to see their festival, especially like check out our sister festival Delfest. So next thing you know, we're getting all these numbers that we didn't really deserve, and we were sort of put out there like representing Delfest. Now Del McCurry and he's a gentleman, and he's a family man, and he doesn't go in for a lot of he's a gentleman in the old-fashioned sense. And I heard stories about Steve Earle getting in a little trouble for dropping the F-bomb on the main stage a few times last year. So I was a little bit conscious of trying to be as straight as I could. But next thing you know, Hippie Fiasco is like being put out there as like a way to see their thing. And we're gonzo journalism at its finest in the modern day. We're traveling around, and we're fascinated and entertained by what we're fascinated and entertained by. And anybody can show you the surface. That's not really what intrigues us. So we're being ourselves, but we're trying to be respectful. But then this moment did happen where after Chris Robinson's set, him and Neil were coming off the stage, and Chad really was there and wanted to get a high five from Chris and wanted the camera to catch it. And Michael was running the hippie cam at the moment. And as Chris Robinson was coming off stage, he gave Chad a high five. And and then Chad was all excited, and we were down at the bottom of the backstage, and the camera was on him, and Chad was like, "Yeah, Chris gave me a high five," and he was all happy, and Michael goes, and Dell gave him a kiss, and Chad goes, "On the penis." And he was just happy, you know, he was sort of elated and being himself. And did the audio just cut out? And so that just happened, and then as soon as he said that, we had this moment where like, oh no, that was on camera. Dell's sister's probably watching. Um, you know, like we all panicked. We were like, oh oh no, and like that was just on the cast, and and then according to Lisa, Chad also retold the story a couple of times within earshot of Dell's family. I doubt they really heard that or that was that outrageous, but it made her uncomfortable, and that was more of the point, I think. And so that's how that's sort of what happened. We talked. I mean, the way we showed respect was we talked about it, and we talked about how strange it all was to represent someone else, and that kind of stuff. And we tried to behave as best we could. I saved that clip for myself and deleted it from our archive so people couldn't reference it again. And then, unfortunately, it was brought up again on my Facebook page. I agree, Love and Larry. That's sort of my take on it, too. But it was just all very interesting. Oh, thank you, Melinda. I never, you know, never for 1 second, and I think this is the most important part, and I never have anywhere that we've gone with all the things people have said about toning things down or this or that. Like, I can dig it. I understand people have their concerns, but I've never once doubted Chad or Liz or my own heart and our level of respect. We've never sat on here and spewed hate towards anything unless it was something that we hated, and I don't even think that we've spent any moments on that very much that I can recall. So I've never really been concerned about where our heart's coming from. It was hysterical at the time. We all laughed and caught ourselves mid-laugh going, oh no, that was on camera. I mean, it is what it is. I right, Gadusi. Remember that night the lady hostess was talking about you and said she'd misunderstood what you were like? I don't really remember that. Hey, Deepa is back. I think part of the process of this evolution is for people to accept the artists as real live people. I've thought, oh, right, you saw that. Yep. That is a big part of it. It's what we talked about at the beginning, and it's what we've sort of lived to, is that we want to be fully revealed. That's why I've even allowed my fears and my doubts to spill over in full display, because we've wanted to share the whole ball of beeswax for whatever reason. It's part of the story we're telling. We're not just trying to cut a slice off ourselves and hold it up there as this is what we are, but it's always been a fascination of mine whether or not I could be fully revealed and still be loved. I think everybody wants to know that. I think everybody feels like they have to hide things that I don't think they should hide anymore. What? You're coming in very late to this conversation, Deepai. But I have a feeling I should run to the nail salon before they close their doors on me and give you back to Chad. Good talk, though. Oh, hero points. Okay, a quick description of that. We woke up this morning. Chad and I are still quite sick. Liz was grumpy. And I thought, oh, great. Well, who's going to be the hero of the webcast? Because it didn't seem like any of us had anything to offer the webcast. Bound to happen, even though it really hasn't happened yet. And Thelonious Monk was on here, and I was like, well, who's going to be the hero of the webcast? You know, someone's going to rise up. And so then a few things started happening, and Thelonious started awarding some hero points. So I quickly started tallying them and putting them on the screen here. And so we've all, since the competition started, it's put a little bit of competitiveness, and it gives us a storyline, and all storytellers need is that. So we've been busting our ass trying to get hero points. It's a pretty abstract, subjective. It's sort of like a political opinion, these hero points. But at the moment, I have got 190. Chad has 120. Liz has 90, and Gypsy has 10. Now, Chad, apparently, if he does not smoke a cigarette till midnight, gets 150 just for that. So I got to get at least a 150 point lead on Chad before midnight. And the winner gets all the money that's donated today. And I think theoretically it's up to $75 spending money. We don't, because none of us really have spending money. We just have one little lump of gas money, basically hoping to get west. So nobody really has spending money until midnight tonight. Somebody's going to have a little bit of spending money. Maybe they'll take the rest of us out to dinner or something, but they don't have to. That it's not. We're playing for the pot. We're playing for the pot. So don't be afraid to make, the bigger the pot, the sillier we will behave. I'll wear a dress and lipstick for 100 points if Thelonious Monk at the moment is the judge. If he ever has to go away, he has to find somebody responsible to fill his stead, in his stead. And I just want to say I don't want Bill Murray to be that person. I love Bill Murray to death, but he's just a mischievous guy. And he does things just for the sake of causing a ruckus. And I when I play a game, I want to have some kind of understanding of the rules. Even though I'm an anarchist at heart, I love games, and you need rules to play a good game. So I want to stick within that. Heat Chad can't be at 121 because it's 5-point increments. Now, anybody can award us points, but then Thelonious has the final say. Right, that's why I like you. That's especially in this circumstance. You're the man for the job. Hey, have fun on your radio show, Big Frog. Don't be afraid to give a shout out to Hippie Fiasco Rides Again. Chad is, I guarantee you, he's prone on his bed with his phone like this. That's my guess. How many points if I'm right? I was too afraid. I don't want to open the door. No telling what's going on in there. That wouldn't be too nice.
Yeah, look, I'll be looking for that Frogville bump. The Browns off at the Super Bowl. Oh my God, goat cheese ravioli sounds good with wild mushrooms and walnuts. I bet if I'd opened that door, I would have been right. Okay, I'm gonna run to the nail salon. Might take the droid, steal the stream.